Hello, everybody. I haven't done content in a while, so I thought I would do something fun by answering questions that I got on Not Gonna Lie NGL. I don't know what you call this. So I decided to do that. I linked it on my Blue Sky. I linked it on some Discord servers I'm on. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 questions. I have 12 questions. So I thought it'd be fun to make a shorter video. I could have posted these as text answers on Blue Sky, but I thought it'd be more fun to do it in video format. So that's what we're doing today. I've never seen these questions before. I guess I'm seeing them now, but I'm not paying attention to them at all. So I don't know what these questions are. So these are going to be blind answers. I hope that's fine. I hope I don't say something stupid or stutter over my words or something or say something that doesn't make sense. Maybe I should have seen these questions beforehand, and maybe I should have fucking came up with answers beforehand, but I'm not gonna do that. So the first question I got is, what was your first commander? Okay, this one's kind of easy. I guess not really, because there's multiple answers. My first commander, my partner and I bought an Izzet versus Golgari dual deck, and that was the first thing we got that was magic related. I took the Golgari half. They took the Izzet half. They turned theirs into Niv Mizzet Perun, but that's not really matter. That doesn't really matter here. I turned mine into Jared Golgari. Is it Jared? Gerard? Golgari Lich Lord, I think its name is. The one that's like, sacrifice a creature, you gain X life, and everyone else loses X life, where X is that creature's power. I started with that one, and then I built it around, and I didn't like it because it was too samey, where you would just make a big guy, sacrifice it, and kill everyone instantly. I thought that was boring and kind of lame. So I took it apart, and I gave up on Magic for a little bit, like a day or two, because it's like I don't really like this. This isn't that fun. Like, I don't know. I'm just doing the same thing every time because I appreciate differences in card games. Like, one of the reasons I love Commander is that you play, like, there's, out of all the decks I have, I've played lots of Commander games. There's multiple decks I have where I still have not seen or have not used every card in the deck yet, or whatever. I think that's neat. But anyway, I was talked into turning it into a different deck and trying a different deck, because maybe it was the deck that I found samey and boring or whatever. So I picked, the choices I had that my partner gave basically after they did research was Gitrog Monster, and I don't know the name of this card. It's the Abzan commander that everybody used to run. That's like, you can cast a card from your graveyard each turn, I think. I'll have it up on screen. I picked Gitrog Monster because I thought lands in graveyards was more interesting, and so I turned it into Gitrog Monster. So, my first technical commander deck was Golgari Lich Lord, but I had played that once. I played that, well, for one day. I played it multiple times, but the first one that I actually constructed was Gitrog Monster, and the first one that I built from scratch, I don't actually remember. I think it was Renar. No, because that was an edited precon. Either way, Gitrog Monster is my first actual commander that I put effort into. Sorry if I seem a bit out of it. I just woke up like 30-40 minutes ago. I thought I'd be awake by now, but apparently not. I'm doing my best. So yeah, it was Gitrog Monster. I guess that's a roundabout way of answering it, but I could have just said Gitrog Monster, but I go into stupid detail sometimes. This one's weird. I thought it was one of the automated questions from, because this is the one that I saw. I thought this was one of the automated questions from the site, but it says from a friend. So, it's just, who haven't you seen in forever? I moved from California to Oregon with my partner. So I want to say my friends back in California, where they weren't like, I don't know, we hung out all the time. I kind of miss it. Like, I miss being able to hang out with people, because I don't really have any I don't want to get depressing. I don't have any in real life friends here. Back in California, at least had a few that were lived close by, and I do kind of miss, being able to go to their place, hang out all the time. So them, I guess. My family too, but I hate my family, so I'm kind of thankful about that one. But I'm not going to get too deep into that. So I'm gonna say my friends back in California or whatever. I haven't even talked to them in ages. Gosh, maybe I'll message them at some point. I doubt it. I'm not a social person, but we'll see. The third question is, how did you get your username? Um, my original username on most websites was HaloZ10, which was HaloZI10. This was a randomly generated username because I'm an uncreative fuck, and when I was like 12, I came up with HaloZ10. Um, Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Um, HaloZ10 was a randomly generated username that I used, and I used HaloZ11 if it was already taken or if I needed a second account for something. Um, After a while, I legitimately changed the username because I got sick of people assuming I was a fan of the Halo series. Like, I would get DMs or I guess like messages on forums and stuff back then who, um, asking like, finally another Halo fan. I haven't like met one on here on this forum yet or whatever. What's your favorite Halo? And it's like I had to tell them I've never played a Halo game in my entire life, and I still haven't. Um, that's not true. I played a few minutes of Halo Legacy Collection, whatever it's called, Master Chief Collection. I played a few minutes of the first Halo, and my friend back in the day talked me into playing Halo Reach for a little bit, I guess. But I'm not a Halo fan, and so I got tired of that, so I changed it. I had a friend, not a friend, I guess, someone on a forum I was on called like Heartless of Darkness, and it was a Kingdom Hearts reference. And I thought that was a cool username because I was like 12 or some shit. And so I picked my username as Umbreon of the Darkness. So I was Umbreon of the Darkness for a while because that was my favorite Pokemon at the time and edgelord shit. And then I was everyone just called me Umbry. So I was Umbry for like a second. And then I changed it to when I got a new favorite Pokemon because after a while I like Jirachi's my favorite Pokemon. And I fucking love that little guy. Like they're cute. I love their design. They're weird while also being cute. I like their flavor and lore and stuff. I think they're cool gameplay wise. Psychic Steel is a cool type. I love Serene Grace and doing weird shit with that. And in Gen 4 I had a Jirachi. I don't remember how I got it. I had a Jirachi though. I think a friend gave it to me from some event. And then I fucking love that thing. I used it in all my teams when I played with my friends at the school and high school and middle school and stuff. So I decided to make Jirachi part of my username instead and ditch the Umbreon persona thing. And then I didn't want it to just be Jirachi, so I added some chibi at the end because I thought that was clever and cute and stuff. I don't know. I remember looking it up to see if anybody had done that before, and like I couldn't find anybody that did it. And then after I picked the username, I googled it again at a certain point and then saw that other people used it before me, but they didn't show up the first time that I googled it, and that annoyed me because I thought for a while that Jirachibi was the cleverest shit ever. It's crazy. Either way, that's how I got my username. Let's see. Next question is favorite commander deck and favorite non-commander deck. Okay, favorite commander deck is hard. The one that means the world to me, that I make sure to edit every time I can, when it gets an update, that I will play any day that somebody wants me to, or is my go-to that I grab as a Get Truck Monster. But part of that is nostalgia because it's my first. Part of that is just because it is the exact thing I want from a deck, and the exact kind of gameplay style I like. It has a weird thing to it with lands in the graveyard. It's self-mill. It has aristocrats, death triggers, recursion, discard, filling up your graveyard, reviving a bazillion big 10/10s with trample and lifelink, and just stomping face, and then constantly recurring stuff. Second, I guess, if I want to say that, because that's like the same answer as what was my first commander deck. Straphon and Sephiroth are really up there. That's why those are the first two EDH guides I did. Straphon's just really cool. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. You can lean more into Vampire Typal. You can lean more into the Artifact Matters side. You can lean more into discard or aristocrats and graveyard stuff. You can lean more into blood tokens and specifically. It's really cool. I fucking love Straphon. I think it's really fun. Sephiroth too. where like I love weird shit like dungeons and aristocrats and self-mill and discard. So probably one of those. I would say Gitrog or Straphon as my main answers. Sephiroth is up there too. Pentlaws is up there too, but I'm saying a million answers right now. The second question on this is favorite non-commander deck. I don't have a lot of experience with this because I've only played Commander, some Arena, and a little bit of Pauper. The little bit of Pauper I played, I really like Grixis Affinity artifacts, but I haven't played it enough to have a full opinion on it, I guess. I also, what is it? I like the Golgari self-mill deck that I played in that format, I think, but that was a long time ago. I also really liked a squirrel deck that I made for, I don't remember what format it was, Tiny Leaders. I made a squirrel deck for Tiny Leaders, and I really liked that. And out of the arena decks that I played for the channel, I played Selesnya Life Gain, which I really liked. It was like a Rakdos Burn Treasure Blood deck, I think, that I wasn't as into, but I feel like if I edited it more, I would actually enjoy it a lot. And then like a weird Esper cast from other than your hand thing, where I did like blink and foretell and stuff. I thought that was really neat. I like being able to do a weird thing in like a 60 card format. So I would say Chatterfang Tiny Leaders. I think it was Chatterfang. Chatterfang Tiny Leaders. I really like the Selesnya Life Gain deck that I played in Arena, and I really like Grixis Affinity and Pauper. Again, I don't have much experience in those formats though, so don't take this as an expert or like, oh, he's played a ton of like I haven't. I mostly play Commander. I don't really have a specific reason for that. I just find 60 card less interesting, which I guess I've gotten into before, and I don't want to get into super hard right now. But I just don't find them interesting because I really like a singleton format, making games feel different from one another, you know? Let's see, next question. The hardest commander you've brewed? Difficult because it's a lot of, I play a lot of straightforward stuff for the most part, but I want to say the deck I'm going to use this to talk about the deck I'm working on right now, that I have been working on for years because you guys saw Chill Builds on the idea. Giganta with the Wellspring as a mutate deck is annoying enough to me where I have been meaning to build it for ages, and I keep stopping myself and I keep starting over. Like I keep building it and then no, I'm starting over because okay, so mutate in general is hard to build because you can mutate onto any non-human creature, meaning the world is your oyster, kind of, especially in 5-color. Like, you have access to every creature in the game. There's so many ones with weird keywords, so many ones with fun abilities to mutate over. You can edit it constantly. It's kind of, like, overwhelming. But to add on to that, what I want the gimmick of this Giganta deck to be is exploiting weird rules. Like, I want to be able to turn a Planeswalker into a creature temporarily, mutate onto it, and have, like, it fade off, like the effect fade off at the end of the turn, and then have like a weird creature planeswalker thing with like loyalty counters that can't be attacked, and I think still has loyalty abilities and can use them, but can't do some of them. It's weird as hell, and I want to do shit like that, or like the obvious copying mutate stacks as a singular creature that's technically still a bunch of creatures, and doing stuff like Brood of Cockroaches dying as a mutate stack of like 15 cards, and then you getting like 15 cards back to your hand at the or whatever. I just like weird shit like that, and I want the deck to be exploiting weird rules, but not exploiting like infuriating ones. Like there's probably some rules I can exploit that would make everybody else at the table miserable or make myself miserable, and I want to exclude those. So I actually have to do deep research into fucking rulings or whatever to figure out how these work. And the issue is you have to know how these work. So every time you pull out this deck, you're gonna have to know them because you have to explain them and be able to back up what you're saying. It's annoying as hell. That's the hardest I've ever had to brew because it's taken me so long to try to get it right. Renard was also really difficult because that guy, like, at the time it was really hard because I didn't want to make him just blink, but like there's not much else to work with, so I had to wait. And now that there's plot and foretell, I'm curious about trying him again because like now we have more foretell cards and now that plot is a thing. Like I don't know, I'm curious about trying it again. I might try him again one day. Those are probably the hardest. Will Halt was also hard because like you think zombie type builds itself, but you want to do other shit with it. I don't know. It's difficult. The easier ones are actually the weirder ones because you have less to work with, so you have less decisions to make, I suppose. Next question is, what got you into content creation? Um, I needed a hand test or play test, I guess, Salamangreat, which is a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and I decided to record it because one of my friends recorded some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. So I tried it. I recorded like 3 or 4 videos over the course of like 3 days or 2 days maybe, and uploaded them like daily or whatever. And I thought that was fun, and it helped me learn Salamangreat, so I did it more with more Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Did it with Raid Raptor and Red Dragon Archfiend. I wanted to do Magic content too because I also liked Magic. But Magic content is 10 times harder to do because Yu-Gi-Oh has something called Yu-Gi-Oh Ignis, and they have something called Yu-Gi-Oh Omega, which are free auto simulators that have every single card in the game look good, run good, and feel like at least somewhat like an official game or whatever. Magic doesn't have one of those. So like they have Arena, but Arena is greedy, and Arena is like costs money or whatever to do anything at all with, unlike Yu-Gi-Oh. So there was nothing I could do, so I just didn't do Magic content for a while. I forced myself to do a few Arena videos, even though I just had like garbage piles I had to throw together. It was kind of nothing. And then I got editing software and decided what I wanted to do was, there's a Yu-Gi-Oh YouTuber called Rank 10 Yu-Gi-Oh, and they do content where they take an archetype and go over it card by card, talking about every single card in the deck and reviewing them and showing a deck list at the end. And I wanted to do a Magic the Gathering version of that because a lot of the time with deck upgrades, they give you a deck list in the description, they might show a deck list at the end, but for the most part they're shorter videos, or they just do like, here's a pre-con, here's 10 cards we took out, here's 10 cards we added, here's some highlights of the deck, where we talk about our 20ish favorite cards, or whatever. I wanted to do one where I talk about every single card that I could possibly think of that you might want to run in this deck. I make the deck myself, I write the script, and then I go to like EDH Rec and talk about other cards that I saw that I don't run, but people might want to, because I don't know. My goal is to help people build decks and to help newcomers with not a more in-depth guide, I guess, because that's weird, but with something that goes over a ton of cards or whatever. I wanted to give people options for like, if you hate cards that I like, or if you like cards that I hate or whatever. I wanted to give people options, and I wanted to help people build the deck. My goal is that this gets you a starting point. That like you can take my deck list at the end, take out the cards that you don't like, and add in the cards, maybe the cards that I talk about that you do like, that I didn't, or whatever. Like maybe there's some vampires that I don't like in Strafe On because they do finality counters, or I feel like they're not as high impact, or I feel the opposite, that they're too high impact, and I want Strafe On, like the deck's power level to be a certain level. Well, I need to give you options for like if you don't like that card, or if you like that card, or and stuff. I don't know, I just want to help people build decks, and that's what I've been doing, or whatever. So I got into content creation because I wanted to do a Rank 10 Yu-Gi-Oh video in Magic form, and I had fun doing it for Strafe On, and it got views, so I decided to keep doing it. The The issue is that content takes ages to make because they're hour-long videos, and I know people think it's going to be like it's easy probably because it's just put cards over when you're talking about them and have them fade in, kind of for the editing process, but you still have to do that for like 80 plus cards or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of annoying. Sorry, I had to deal with a cat. It's kind of annoying still. And then writing is still difficult, and making the decks can be difficult, and finding things to say about a lot of cards can be difficult. But so I started doing my favorite cards in every set as like a side thing I can do in between videos, and I need to do more. I need to figure out more side content I can do. I still want to do Yu-Gi-Oh content. Yu-Gi-Oh's where I started or whatever, but like, I don't know. I am going to do more Yu-Gi-Oh content, I promise. Okay, next question. Flight or teleportation? Let's see. I think teleportation's the obvious answer, right? Like, because flight takes effort to do the same thing. And I'm afraid of heights, so I feel like flight is the objective answer here, at least for me. Or what? Because flying would be fun, but I'm afraid of heights, and I feel like it's more risky. I don't know the rules about teleportation, though, in this universe. My fear is that I would abuse it. Like, I would just not go for walks anymore, or not go out. I would just snap my fingers and I'm at the store, or snap my fingers and I'm at, like, the game store or whatever, or snap my fingers and I'm at any appointment thing, and I just wouldn't get exercise. And I feel like I would be the type of lazy motherfucker that'd be like, I'm gonna teleport to the living room to grab something and then teleport back or whatever instead of walking, because I'm a lazy motherfucker. Teleportation would be like hard for me to. I would pick teleportation even though I feel like it would be easy for me to abuse. I would put some kind of system where I have X amount of teleportations in a day, I guess. I don't know. Next question. Favorite weapon? Do they mean like in real life, or do they mean like in video games or Magic? Or I don't have one for in real life. I'm not a weapons guy, I guess. My favorite weapon is the 2025 movie. Go watch it. It's so stupid. My favorite video game weapon, I really like, what is it called? It's called like shock. Is it the shock cannon? I really like the shock cannon in Ratchet and Clank. I really like the lava gun in Ratchet and Clank. The liquid nitrogen gun's also really cool. Ratchet and Clank's the main series I like that has weapons, okay? I really like those. I think they're really interesting weapons. I love weird weapons. Like, I don't like, oh, it's a machine gun, oh, it's a sword. I like weird, like, this is a gun that shoots a stream of lava in like a ribbony thing that you have to move around. Or like, this is like a gun where you have to hold it down, lock onto everything, and lightning bolts come from the gun and hit them or something. Like, I like weird stuff. I like weird, more interesting, unique weapons. That's why I think I'll always prefer like sci-fi shooters over like realistic shooters or historic shooters, because there's more interesting guns. I like weird lasers. I like weird like melting guns or guns with weird properties. So the first answer is nothing, because I don't like weapons in real life, or I'm not a weapons guy. The second answer is a joke answer. I say the movie weapons. Video games is those, a lot of Ratchet and Clank guns. Magic the Gathering, I'm just going to say equipment, I guess, for weapons. I want to say Mask of Gristlebrand, which I think is equipped creature gets lifelink, and I guess I can Google it real quick. It's like equipped creature gets lifelink, and Mask of Gris. Yeah, equipped creature has flying and lifelink, and when it dies, you draw X cards and lose X life, where X is its power. I love shit like that. I love that card. I love me some lifelink. I love that it gains you life, so if you just connect once, it's even. Like, you lose the amount of life that you gained from the lifelink, and you're back to where you were before the lifelink. And flying gives an evasive keyword. I just think it's really cool. It's also like generic enough. Like, it's 3 mana and 3 to equip, and it's like, you can kind of just throw this into any black deck and it would make at least some sense. Like, you don't need to be a life gain deck or like a pay life deck for this to be good. I don't know. I should put this in more decks now that I think about it. I think right now it is in 2. It's in Gitrog and it's in Baitor. But either way. Next question. Thoughts on Soren Markov? He's really fucking cool. I love me some vampires. As you guys know, it's fucking in my Blue Sky description. Soren's really cool. I want to put him in something, but he's a Orzhov vampire, and the vampire deck I have is Rakdos. So it's like one day I'm going to put a Soren card in one of my decks. I don't care if Planeswalkers suck in Commander. I think Soren's hot. I think Soren's cool looking. I think Soren is what made me like vampires and magic. I even as a kid when I saw, or when I was younger, I don't want to say a kid, middle school I guess. I saw Soren in standee things or whatever, and I thought he was the coolest motherfucker. I thought he was so fucking cool. Love me some Soren. I will find a deck that I can put Soren in. I tried to put Soren, the Marthless, and Strafon, but it didn't do anything. It didn't add to the deck, and it just felt like it was there for the sake of being there. I don't know. I'll find a way to include a Soren somehow. God. Let's see. These are the questions I got last night. So, in theory, this video would have ended here in an alternate universe. But we're going for 3 more questions. Apparently I mean 4 questions because I forgot a question, so I'm inserting it here. Someone asked what my favorite Magic the Gathering set is, and there's multiple answers. The one I've talked about before a bunch that I don't want to repeat myself too much with is I really love Strixhaven, and I really love Secrets of Strixhaven. Those 2 sets are perfect to me. I love what they're doing in general, in terms of doing weird stuff with the colors that they normally don't do as often. I love the identity that they have. I love all of the schools. I love their mascots. I like what they do. I also love that it's a trope set, but they're not leaning too hard into tropes, but they're not also leaning too hard into we're scared of doing tropes or whatever. I don't know. I think Secrets of Strixhaven and Strixhaven are peak. In terms of other ones that I haven't talked about as much, I really like Duskmourn. I love how it's genuinely trying to be scary while also referencing stuff that Magic usually doesn't reference. And it being a plane that's unlike anything we've ever seen before. Both in having a more modern setting, which I like, as its own thing. If they put a modern setting stuff on in it, if they put the cheerleader and the boom box and the sneakers on Innistrad, it'd be weird. But since it's Duskmourn, it's its own new thing. It makes perfect sense to me and fits. I love the aesthetic that it has. I just love a lot about it. I also love Innistrad, Crimson Vow, and Midnight Hunt. I know those aren't popular sets, but I really love the vampires and the werewolves and the zombies. I love DK as a way of making tokens worse or whatever, while also upping the amount that you can make. I love blood tokens. I just love Innistrad, Crimson Vow, and Midnight Hunt, and I don't care what anyone says. Those are probably my favorites. I also really like Bloomburrow. I also really like Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. I love a lot of Magic sets. I'm usually a positive person with Magic, so I really love those. I know people are going to be mad at me or think I'm crazy, but I also really like Spider-Man. Those are probably my favorites, just off the top of my head at the very least. Now back to Jira from 25 minutes ago, give or take, when he recorded the rest of this video before I had to insert this like an idiot because I'm an idiot. God, I'm an idiot. Favorite non-standard Commander format? I haven't played many. I want to say Pauper, a low power, because what I like in a card game is low power format. I want shitty ass cards to be playable. I want nobody to explode out of nowhere, you know? And I like variety. I don't like playing a deck a few times and then doing the exact same combo or the exact same line or have the exact same cards in your hand every single game. So Commander is my favorite format, but they asked for a non-Commander one. I would say probably Pauper, but a low power, purposefully powering yourself down Pauper. So I probably wouldn't play Grixis Affinity in my ideal Pauper experience. I'd probably play a purposefully weaker deck. But it'd probably be Pauper. I think I would like Limited or Cube if I gave it another chance. Because I tried it in some videos on the channel, but they didn't turn out well, so I never tried them again. I think if I get hit with the right cube and I play that cube enough to learn it, I think I would like draft for the same reason. Like, it's low power, you're not going to see the same cards every time, all that. So probably one of those. The penultimate question is, what is your favorite limited set? I'm sorry to say, friendo, but I've only played three. I did Outlaws of Thunder Junction, and I did Aether Drift. Outlaws of Thunder Junction was a video thing that I did where I drafted it twice. I got my ass kicked the first time where I picked, I don't even remember what draft colors I picked for that. I know the second time I picked Selesnya and won some games and I still didn't like it. So I want to say Aether Drift. I feel like if I tried it, I would like Strixhaven. But either of the Strixhavens. But I only have two options, which is Outlaws and Aether Drift. And I had more fun with Golgari, Self-Mill, and Aether Drift than I did with Selesnya mounts and Outlaws. So I'm going to have to go with Aether Drift probably. But that's like a default answer. You know what I mean? That's like an I don't have another answer kind of thing. And the final question of today. I was going to say of this, but I mean, I could get 20 more questions tomorrow for all I know. And do another one of these. What's your favorite video game? This has changed over time, but my favorite video game is Ratchet & Clank 2 Going Commando. I love that it takes what the original Ratchet & Clank did and adds on to it without going overboard. There's RPG elements. It's like a shooter, platformer, and a perfect 50-50 mix of both. It's funny, it looks great, it's got varying planets that all feel different from one another, even when they reuse assets at times. It's got great side content, it's decently long without feeling overwhelming, it's replayable because they have the challenge mode and increasing the level all your guns can go to or whatever. It's just a really fucking good game to me. The final boss sucks, but that's like my only real issue with it. There's future Ratchet & Clank games, and I love those too, but Ratchet & Clank 3, I feel, leans too much into shooter direction, whereas Ratchet & Clank 2 has a perfect 50-50 of both, or whatever, and I feel like it's the most fun out of all of them. And then as the series went on, it got a bit more sanitized. Like Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart and 2016 are good games, but they're not as funny, they don't have as much good side content, and they're not as replayable to me. I don't know. I feel like that Ratchet & Clank 2 is my favorite. Spyro 3 is my favorite, nostalgia-wise, I guess. Where, like, that's the game. That's my game, dude. Spyro 3 is the game I played a billion times as a kid. I played through that game 100% so many times. Like, 1,000 times. So many. I know that game like the back of my hand. But, to the point where, like, I don't know if I can't play it that much anymore. Because I've played it so many times. I know every single pixel of that game like the back of my fucking hand. But yeah, that is all 12 questions that I had. Thank you guys for asking questions. Thank you guys for watching, I guess. I'll try to get back into the swing of things with normal content soon. I'm still thinking about if I want to do the Secrets of Strixhaven, like my favorite cards in it video, because it's kind of past Secrets of Strixhaven a little bit, but we'll see. That's either going to be the next video, or the next video is going to be what Yu-Gi-Oh does better than Magic and what Magic does better than Yu-Gi-Oh. One of those two. I'm doing both, I just don't know which was coming out first. And then I'm working on an EDH guide right now, so that will probably come down the pipelines also as well. Good job, Jira. I'll see you guys in the next video before I fumble over my words some more.